Today we're talking about the Vinegar Syndrome Archive Line, which is something they just started doing to use their ad speak. It's a line of releases that celebrates the forgotten cinematic oddities of the video store era. And it just so happens I bought one of those. I bought Vice Academy, or the Vice Academy Collection, however you want to call it. Now, I had never seen Vice Academy prior to buying it. I did know it had Lena Quigley in it, and that was about it. Like many people out there, I've had a kind of boyhood crush on Miss Quigley ever since seeing her in a very popular zombie movie. And then seeing her in movies like Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers, Creepazoids, Witch Trap, Sorority Babes in the Slimeball Ballorama, Nightmare Sisters, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Night of the Demons, Graduation Day, etc. This particular title I added to my Amazon wishlist some time ago on DVD, but never bought it because it was out of print and it was at those inflated prices. Although, could you consider the Vinegar Syndrome $30, $27.99 price tag to be an inflated price? Maybe. Or maybe not. Here's what you're getting for that $27.99. So you get this VHS-inspired slipcover, which, I gotta say, is one of the nicest slipcovers I think that's in my collection. I actually went through my collection to try to find other slipcovers that were comparable in quality to this, and I was only finding like super mainstream stuff, like maybe the metal case on T2, or, you know, this hard lenticular ET release. And really, otherwise, the only things I was finding that were rivaling it was when companies did a complete theme case. You know, when they did something that was just kind of outside of the ballpark. Something that was just way different than everything else on the shelf. I suppose one title I did find from a smaller distributor that was kind of close-ish in the cool aspect was the copyright infringement cover from Severin, with their Terminator 2 cover for I don't even know what this is. Shocking Dark. Now, they go on to say on the website that these are limited to just 3,000 copies apiece. I got number 2182. They're kind of hand-numbered up here in the top corner. And they also go on to say that they're never going to release these again. So it's 3,000 and then it's done. Now, whether or not they'll sell their 2K Masters to some other company, that remains to be seen. And it stands to question as to whether or not they could release this as, say, a 4K release, because that wouldn't be another version, that would be another format. Vinegar Syndrome has made a name for themselves, though, as being a really above-bar company, so I think we can kind of trust them in this. So, as this video is being recorded, there is somewhere between 2,500 and 500 left on the website. They don't get into specifics. There could be 2,499. I might be the only person who bought this. That's possible. And before I talk about the movies, I'm going to talk really quickly about the special features. Obviously, you've already saw the slipcover. Inside the case, there is a poster, which I might otherwise have never have opened, but hey, I get to show you guys. It is a double-sided poster with the A and B art on it that I will now probably never unfold again. Who knows, maybe in that next gigantic house I might buy sometime in the future, I'll have wall space for just poster after poster. Each film comes with a commentary by director Rick Sloan. He is perhaps not the best commentator, and I think could have used a moderator in the tracks. David Dakota, I think, would have been a great choice for moderating this track. He did such a great job with moderating the tracks for Crash and Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. It is a solo track, and he's probably not the best candidate for doing these kind of tracks, as there's a lot of long pauses throughout the movie, and a lot of him just laughing at his own jokes that he made 30 years ago.
I always like this joke that we each try that. I always thought this was funny. There's one after another going through there. I always thought this was a good gag. I mean, getting a free view looking. I always like the angle from the ground looking up. This is always a good gag. His head's stuck right there. I thought it was funny to have these title cards with really inappropriate and stupid suggestions. I think there was a small blanket we threw down at all 400. They didn't know the van was going to drive off. You see a bunch of them fall over. I always like this gag. They run right into the crowd.
You do get some juicy stuff out of him, but most of it evolves around shooting location. Like when they were filming in front of this weird porno theater, and how the owner was flipping the lights on and off to try to get money out of them, or stealing shots on Hollywood Boulevard. etc., etc. There is just a touch here and there about USA Up All Night, and a little bit about the stars, not as much as you would really prefer, but that's where the main special feature in this set comes into play. There are 2 lengthy interviews, one with Ginger Lynn, and the other with Linnea Quigley. I would have loved to have them on a commentary tracks, and based on how long Ginger Lynn spoke, seems like she'd have been down for doing a commentary track, but, you know, they all are selling 3,000 of these, so. Linnea Quigley's interview is great, and as always, she's just like the nicest person you can possibly think about. There's little hints here and there of problems that might have been on set, but she never really gets deep into the mud of the situation. Ginger Lynn, on the other hand, she gets pretty specific about people she hates, people she wants to call the C word, and, well, sex with co-stars, sex with crew members. Her interview is probably raunchier than the movies, and the movies themselves are raunchy 80s sex comedies. So, and there's one thing that I really think they should have done for these interviews. This only makes sense because this is my first time watching these, was that I really wish that the interviews had stops in them where you could skip for the movies. For example, I started the first movie, I liked it, I went to watch the interviews, and then it kind of just seamlessly transitioned from talking about the first one to the second one to the third one. There was no stops, there was no chapter skips, so what I had to do was just kind of find the right point, stop it, then come back later. This is just a minor quibble, but as a first-time viewer, it was just a minor, you know, unpolished experience that I felt like Vinegar Syndrome could have done better on. That was really about it on things to complain about on this movie. I complain about all the special features. Now getting into the movies themselves. So you have to be in the right mood for this type of movie. Now going into this, you should kind of set the bar knowing that this was directed by the director of Hobgoblins. And if you do that and you go in and you're just here for the Quigley or Lynn, if that might be the case, I think you're going to have a fun time. Coming out in 1988, Vice Academy 1 follows the cadets of the Vice Academy who are doing criminal investigations and arresting people while still being cadets in the academy. I know, you probably shouldn't look too hard at a movie like this. It's really a dumb comedy about sometimes seeing boobs, but that kind of threw me off. I guess kind of what they were thinking was being a play off of Police Academy, even though the director says it's not a play on Police Academy, it's a play off it's a play off Mod Squad, which I don't believe. Maybe the second one was kind of a play off Mod Squad. The first one was definitely a play off of Police Academy. And I guess what they were kind of picking out from Police Academy was that scene where they suited everybody up to go help with the riots. That's not quite the same thing as doing undercover police work, but, you know, you do get to have Linnea Quigley go in undercover on a porn set, and Ginger Lynn go undercover as a streetwalker. And now it's super low budget, the shots go on way too long, the effects aren't good, but there's just something like cheesy 80s goodness where you just kind of like watching it. I don't know, it might have been me kind of growing up on that USA Up All Night stuff where you'd watch these terrible movies that you knew had a lot of boobs in them, and they were all cut for TV, but you're always kind of hoping, you know, maybe they missed one. Maybe they missed one here or there. You watched them. And I think I kind of sort of remember one of these. I probably did watch at least part of one of these on USA Up All Night as a kid. But yeah, part one, if you're in the right mood and you're into this kind of movie, say, like, watch this scene.
Yes, girls. We're going undercover to investigate phony roller derby matches.
Well, I hope those weeks of practice come in handy. And we're going to try and shut down a Mexican donkey show.
There goes my weekend.
Miss Devonshire, we heard about a porno operation that hires underage girls. We'd like to take a crack at it.
Girls, be serious.
No, we mean it. I know the location of the company and the people in charge there.
Very well, then. I'll give you some equipment you can use for your cover.
All right, if that was something that was kind of up your alley, maybe this is the kind of movie for you. If that's what you're looking for, you're going to love part one. Part two is more of the same. Linnea Quigley and Ginger Lynn are back. They have a much bigger budget. There was a lot of points where part one just looked cheap. I mean, they all looked cheap, but it looked especially cheap. like Hobgoblin's cheap. Part 2 looks a lot better. Like, there's definitely more money on the screen. The bimbo cop situation is kind of stupid, but forced on the director by USA Up All Night, apparently. Part 2 is a little bit more Mod Squad compared to the Part 1 Police Academy. Gingerlin and Linnea Quigley are both now police officers, and this time they must defeat a villain. It's almost like a fake movie. If you were to see this movie, like, on the TV in another movie, it would be totally believable. But you sit there and you're watching it, and you're like, is this really happening? Is this real life? Am I watching Vice Academy 2? It's passable. It's passable because it's got Quigley in it. Now, Part 3, when Linnea Quigley doesn't return, I quickly lose interest in it. It still has Ginger Lynn. Instead of Linnea Quigley, you do get Elizabeth Catan, who you've seen in tons of 80s schlock movie, like this, and this, and this, and this, and of course in Friday the 13th even. And man, there's something about that girl's smile. I love looking at that girl's smile. It's so big. I feel like it's the open face at the end of Sleepaway Camp, but it's happy. I don't know. Is that just me? There's something about it. You see so many teeth. It's like she's a cat or something. It's like you're going into danger when you see her smile. I don't know. I'm just a weirdo. Anyway, Part 3 is terrible. I know a lot of people love Part 3, but I just did not like it. I wasn't a fan. Now, there are a total of 6 Vice Academy movies. I don't think I'm really interested in seeing 4, 5, and 6 after seeing 3. That would be something I might delve into on, say, a budget title if I did see them in like the $10 range for all 3, maybe. But Vice Academy 1 and 2 is well worth the buy, especially here in this new 2K scan. I highly recommend it. Pick it up while it's still available, because according to Vinegar Syndrome, once it's gone, it's gone. Thanks for tuning in, and have a great day.